Welcome back to Toffee Booze, your source for all things Everton. I'm Ollie Hayes, and today I'm bringing the starting 11 show for our final ever game at Goodison Park, facing Southampton on Sunday at midday. So fingers crossed we can get a win and obviously see Goodison out in style with a comprehensive victory. But today I'll just be taking you through what I think David Moyes is going to go with for his starting 11, and we'll start in goal. As I say every single week, probably the easiest one to predict is Jordan Pickford in goal. One word for me, dynamite. Need I say any more than that? His new song, fingers crossed it's going to be ringing around Goodison Park, but what a performance last time out against Fulham. Giving us a platform to, obviously, when we were 1-0 down and when we'd equalised through Vitaly Mikalenko, giving us a platform to really put in a decent performance in that second half and go on and win the game 3-1 with some big saves, one from Raul Jimenez, one from Harry Wilson. So, need I say any more than that? What a performance last time out. And fingers crossed he can replicate that on Sunday against Southampton. But enough of that. We'll move into the back four now, and we'll start at left back with Vitaly Mikalenko. And as I said, a little bit earlier, he was on the score sheet last time out against Fulham. He's really turned the corner under David Moyes. He's becoming a lot more dependable at left back. Obviously under Sean Dyche, I think there were a lot of question marks over him. And if Sean Dyche was still the manager now, would Vitaly Mikalenko even be in the starting 11? There would be big question marks over his future at Everton. But I think he's really nailed down that place in the Everton starting 11, and I think he looks a lot more dependable under David Moyes. But moving into the centre halves now, and we'll start with Jared Branthwaite. He was so good against Fulham, an absolute Rolls Royce of a defender, if I must say so. There's no surprise really in the interest from other clubs higher up the league. You look at Chelsea this week; they've been heavily linked if they weren't to sign Dean Howson from Bournemouth. So, there's going to be a lot of links between now and the summer transfer window for Jared Branthwaite because he is just so good. So, fingers crossed he can replicate the performances he's been putting in all season and have a good performance to cap off a very good season and obviously cap off Goodison Park in a little bit of style. But his partner, obviously James Tarkowski, is out for the rest of the season. So, I do think Michael Keane will keep his place. Some might have a little bit of something to say about that, but I'm not crazy. I'll tell you why in a second, but I think it would be quite harsh to drop Michael Keane, in my opinion. Put us ahead last week, putting us 2-1 up in the game against Fulham. So I think it probably would be a little bit harsh to drop him. But moving to right back, this is why I'm not mad. I think Jake O'Brien will come in at right back. Obviously, Moyes has delivered us some positive news this afternoon that he is fit to start against Southampton. So I do think he'll slot back in at right back. He's seen multiple times this season that he's comfortable playing there. He's really turned the corner under David Moyes, playing at right back. So yeah, I think Jake O'Brien will probably come back in at right back for this one. And he'll probably leave the partnership of Branthwaite and Keane together, considering they played okay as a partnership against Fulham. But that rounds off the back four. We'll move into the midfield now, and we'll start with James Garner. And I thought he actually improved against Fulham. I thought he was marginally better. Hopefully that gives him a platform to build on. But his partner, Idrissa Gana Gueye, I think will also start alongside him once again. He's so assured, isn't he? Idrissa Gana Gueye, he's an absolutely fantastic player. We really do need to see him sign on for next season with a new contract, whether it be a year or 2 years. I think it's massive to get him tied down to a deal. But obviously he's probably going to have suitors abroad as well. So it is up to the player, but I'm just really hoping that we sign him just for one more season and he gets to play at Bramley Moore Dock in a royal blue Everton shirt. But moving a little bit further forward now, I think Carlos Alcaraz will keep his place and he will drop Abdoulaye Doucouré. Obviously, they did both start together against Fulham, but I think Alcaraz probably had a little bit of a marginally better game than Abdoulaye Doucouré. So I thought he was fantastic against Fulham, in my opinion. Massively changed the game for us. Obviously, a very good assist for Beto for the third goal, but I think just his play in terms of the way he turns from defence to attack, and he's so probing with his running, he's so direct. I say it so many times, but we've not seen a direct run in an Everton shirt for so long. Maybe the likes of Damari Gray, for example, or even casting further back to the likes of Kevin Morales or Gerard Deulofeu. I think he's the kind of similar build to those kind of players where he just runs in a straight line and he turns defence into attack very quickly. So long may it continue. Obviously, do we know if he's going to sign permanently yet? We're not obviously too sure, but last weekend I thought he changed the game for me, for us at Fulham. So long may it continue. Obviously, it's a platform to build on, and I do think he will keep his place in the starting 11 against Southampton on Sunday. But that rounds off the midfield. We'll move into the front three now, and we'll start on the right-hand side, and I think Dwight McNeil will keep his place there. It was a great corner, wasn't it, for Michael Keane for the second goal? A great delivery. It's something we've lacked all season, really, is a good delivery from a set piece. And we know how good Dwight McNeil is at delivering set pieces at times. You look at the Merseyside derby last season, for example, for the Dominic Calvert-Lewin header. He is so good at set pieces for the delivery that he puts in. So I think we have missed that largely at times. So again, I keep saying it, but fingers crossed it's a little bit of a platform to build on now. He's got another assist to his name, building on the one from Nottingham Forest, setting up Abdoulaye Doucouré for that last minute winner. So platform to build on, but I do think he will keep his place now, and he seems to be getting back to that full fitness that we saw towards the start of the season. Obviously, coming back from a nasty injury is always going to be difficult, but yeah, as I said before, a platform to build on, and I do think he'll keep his place off that right hand side. But moving to the left hand side, it's a player that didn't start against Fulham away from home last weekend. It's Iliman and Jai. I think he will come back into the side. If there's ever a man in an Everton shirt that can deliver us a moment worthy of seeing off Goodison with a little bit of wizardry, a little bit of magic, Iliman and Jai is that player, in my opinion. And I do think he will deliver us that little bit of magic on Sunday that we do need to unlock Southampton. I could talk about Iliman Jai for the next half an hour. He's just such a top player. Maybe hasn't found the heights that we saw before his injury in an Everton shirt, but no doubt with a decent pre-season, a decent regime to get back to full fitness, I do anticipate him being, fit and firing for the new season and giving us more wonderful moments at Bramley-Moore Dock. But I do think Iliman and Jai will come back into the side for this one for David Moyes and give us a little bit of wizardry before we shut the doors to the grand old lady for the men's team. But moving into the number 9 now, I do think Beto will keep his place. I think it would be very, very harsh to drop him. On the score sheet once again, that's 2-2 now for Beto. He's maybe getting that purple patch back that we saw when David Moyes took the reins at Everton. You all know my opinions on Beto. I think he's a decent player with a decent run in the side. I think he can score goals for us. So I think it will be very, very harsh to drop him for, say, Dominic Calvert-Lewin coming into this game. But yeah, I do think Beto will keep his place and hopefully he can build on that 2 in a row now and maybe make it 3 or 4 in 3 games. But that rounds off the starting 11. I will just go through it one more time. So it's Jordan Pickford in goal, Vitaly Mykolenko, Jarrad Branthwaite, Michael Keane and Jake O'Brien. Nearly said James Tarkowski then at centre half. That would have been a mistake. Idrissa Gana Gueye, James Garner and Carlos Alcaraz as your midfield 3. Dwight McNeil off the right-hand side, Iliman Ndiaye off the left-hand side, and Beto starting as our striker against Southampton. Well, Blues, it's upon us. The final game at Goodison Park. It's been looming for a long, long time now, but it is here. It's going to be a very emotional afternoon at Goodison Park, saying farewell. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this starting 11 and also our thoughts about the potential of beating Southampton. What are your thoughts going into the game? Are you emotional? Are you excited? Let me know everything in the comments. But that is all from me today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.